Hey there, Akash again from Wade Labs. Let's talk about landing pages today. Building a landing page is more than just a few lines of code. When done right, it can drive your sales and flourish your business exponentially. We have shown you how we deployed our own landing page without code using templates in Studio. Now let's take a step further and talk about how we can build a fully responsive and SEO optimized landing page. Today we are covering part 1 where we'll build the page UI. Let's hop right in. Before we begin, let me take you to our own landing page. This is deployed at wadelabs.com, a classic landing page with the nav bar, then a hero section, followed by a features carousel, then some feedback, followed by our own CTAs and the footer. Let's try building a few of these sections in Studio today. Here we are on an empty canvas in Studio. Let's start with the navbar. Now, a navbar, if you remember, is essentially just a container with two elements, a logo and a button, on the opposite ends of it. So we'll quickly drop in a stack for a container. We only need two children and the direction to be horizontal, and we'll throw them apart with justify between. In the first slot, we need an image, and in the second, we need a button. The image we can just pull in from here. Let's use the same address, and there we go. This is slightly larger. We want smaller. Yeah, this looks good. For the button, we want it to say get early access. Let's change the color to our brand color. That looks about right. Now, let's say you want to add a background or to make any changes beyond the supported properties here. You have the support of component styles, which let you take the control of CSS in your hand. For instance, I want a background here, so I just go in here, pick my color picker, and there's my white background. I'd also want some padding there, so I'll select that, go to padding, and choose left and right padding to be 16 pixel, and there we go. Let's do the hero section next. So what we want from the hero section, let me break it down a little. Most hero sections would have a text block with the heading and subheading, followed by a creative with the media about the app, and then a call to action, which is build with Studio, check out live demo for us. So if you break it down, we have a text block, an image, and then another horizontal stack with an image, text, and a button. Let's start building it. We'll start with the responsive layout. We want columns, where the first one is a text block, then an image, and then our primary CTA. A text block is for us a stack of two texts. The first being our H1. We want it larger and bolder. We then have another text. Let's start with the color, right? We want grayer, weighted but not that much, but definitely larger. Let's choose an XL. Next, for our creative, we want an image, and for our primary CTA, we essentially again want a stack which is horizontal. The first slot for an image, another for text, and then our clickable CTA. And that essentially is the structure of what we want to accomplish. Let's start feeding in data. We don't need the ruler anymore. This is a primary heading. There we go. We want it in the center. There we go. Next comes the subheading. We'll drop that in there, another center. Next comes the image. We'll copy that and pass that in the data. There we go. This definitely needs to be larger. How about an 8XL? Yes. Next, let's pick another image. And that will go here. Oh, too large. We want that much smaller. And that's about right. For text, we have Build with Studio. Definitely more weighted and slightly larger. The button again is supposed to be of a brand color, and with text that reads check out live demo, and there we go. So we see that the structure has started to take shape. Now let's refine it. Let's pull up our tree outline. There is the nav bar, and here is our hero section container. We'll begin with setting the background to white as we want it. Now this stack right here needs a certain max width. We'll pull up component styles, select percentage, and maybe 70%. There we go. The spacing is alright. Although the container in itself could use a padding top. So we'll give it a top padding of 40 pixels. Let's make that 60. That's about right. The same is required probably on the image as well. So we'll set a top padding of not much, but like 20 pixels here. And let's see, well, our primary CTA is curled up too close. We'll increase the gap there to maybe an XL. That looks pretty good. Let's check for some responsiveness. We definitely need some padding there. So in contextualized styles, we'll add some padding to this image. That would be 16 pixels on both sides. That looks better. Similarly, let's say for example, on the mobile screen, we do not need this hand in here. So for the mobile screen, if we set it hidden over here, it overrides the default behavior of that element, hidden in this case, and keeps this property contextualized to the mobile screen. So when we go back to other screens, we find it right there. And this is the case with all properties, where by default, while everything is indeed responsive and is adjusted based upon the screen viewport selected, if we want certain control in the context of a particular viewport, we can modify that just as easily. So all you need in Studio to build UI is the basic understanding that all designs are composed of rows and columns, and just start dragging and dropping these components into their relevant layouts. And that's how you can build any layout just as easily. But that's only the first step of building a successful landing page. For it to be accessible to people and garner good reach, a landing page must be SEO optimized. And that's what we'll cover in the next part. And that's where we'll show you how we generate all the meta tags to optimize your SEO by using basic inputs from you. Until then, check out our website at wadelabs.com or head on to studio.wadelabs.com to check out a live demo of Studio yourself and start building apps. See you in the next one.